YouTube, what's happening? It's your boy Penny LS1 back for another video. If y'all watched my last video, I was trying to get my gauges working, specifically the oil pressure gauge and the temp gauge. I did get the oil pressure gauge working. I ended up having to mock up some funky little remote deal. I do now have the 45 degree. I haven't put it on, but what I'm doing today is I found the right wire for the temp sensor. So let me show you what I got. All right, so last time so here's the wire running down to the sensor. These are the bulkhead wires right here. This is what's coming from the bulkhead. These are the two green wires in this bulkhead. I hooked it up to this one, it didn't work. I hooked it up to this one, didn't work. Check this out. I was over here the other day just kind of fiddling around, trying to clean this up, which I still haven't done yet. See this right here? Look at that. That's the temp sensor right there. Now, I don't know if it got cut, and that's an extension of that. I didn't bother to try to pull it out. But what I did was I hooked that wire up to the sensor, and the gauge worked. So I'm finna go ahead and solder a new lead on to here and run it all the way over to my sending unit. Go ahead and loom it up. Well, I'm gonna put it inside of this loom right here and run it over there. And while I'm in here, I'm gonna go ahead and solder the oil pressure wire too, because I didn't finish that. We'll get that soldered up and we'll get everything buttoned up. And then I will do a cold start because I haven't started the car in about 3 days. And I'll show y'all that the temperature actually works. So I'll probably put you on time lapse while I get these wires tied up.
Crank Lucas in the building.
All right, I'm still learning how to solder, y'all, so don't judge me. But I got it all connected. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide this heat shrink on here. Get it all sealed up. Where'd it go? Slide this on there. Get my heat gun out and button that up. We got it all heat shrunk. See the glue coming out. So then I'm gonna stick it in this loom. Once it cools down, I'm gonna stick it in there and run it across. So now I'm gonna do go ahead and do the oil pressure one. Get it soldered up in loom and heat shrunk. Okay, I had to show y'all this. So I peeled the loom back, right? On the green wire right here that's wrapped. See, it's bundled up all the way. Here it is, right here. I pulled it. See that? That's why the gauge wasn't working when I hooked it up. So that was the right wire. That was the right wire, but it came loose from right here. I'm not sure how the hell that happened. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this out, and I'm gonna tuck this one in there since I've already soldered that on. But yeah, so it is this solid green wire. Looks like I don't know, what is that, about a 14 gauge wire. So let me unwrap this, pull this wire out, tuck this one in there and put the loom back on. All right, so I got the wire extended. I got some flux on there. I'm about to go ahead and solder that, get a heat shrunk, and then we'll give y'all a start up and show you that the gauge works. We all soldered up, heat shrunk. I put 2 layers on here just for extra security. Now here's the wire. You see, I put that fire tape on there. So I'm gonna loom it up here. It's gonna be in that piece of loom, but then this just gonna be bare. That way, keep you from hot. So let me go ahead and start it up for y'all. Let it get the temperature so the gauge works, and that'll be it for this video. So let me go ahead and crank it up for y'all, let it get up to temp. And then in my next video, I'm finna rewire this, put my new distribution block on there, and get rid of this. And like I said, I got a circuit breaker and a fuse distribution block. And I also upgraded the wire from the alternator. It's I think it's a 4 gauge. I got a 1 gauge or 1/0 gauge, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna run from there all the way over to the battery. And I'm gonna put a circuit breaker in line with that. A lot of people was telling me you don't need it, but if you look at some of the newer vehicles, they all have fusible links. That's there for a reason. So I'm gonna use a circuit breaker in place of a fusible link. That way, if I blow anything, I can just trip the circuit and turn it back on. So anyway, let me wrap this up. Let me start the car up so y'all can see the gauge work. All right, I'm about to give y'all this cold start up. I'm gonna let it get up to temperature so the temp gauge can read. That was a weird cold start up. Trying to block that glare. You can see it. You can see the temp climbing a little bit, so it's working. It's probably been running for like, I don't know, 5 minutes. So it's at about almost, I guess you want to call that. The fan should kick on in a minute, so I think my fans are set for 160. So I'll cut you back on once the fan kicks on. All right, so the fan just kicked on, so you can see the temp gauge is working. Like I say, the fans are controlled by the computer, but they kicked on right about where it's reading. So right about 160, they kicked on. So the gauge is like it's about accurate. Now I'm gonna pull this gauge out. I plan on hold on, let me turn you around. I'm gonna pull this gauge out, this gauge cluster. I plan on updating the light bulbs. I'm gonna put some LEDs in there. The tack works. I think it may have just came loose when I was in here one day, so I'm gonna check that. And the speedometer, I'm gonna go ahead and just bite the bullet and get that the Speed Hut box. Nobody responded with a cheaper alternative. The only two ones that I saw was Speed Hut and Dakota Digital. I haven't seen anything, outside of just swapping out the whole cluster. So that'll be the next thing. But I do need to get a new what do you call these, shadow box? I need a new shadow box because mine is broke. The screws won't even stay in, and the switch for the light switch, the bolts to hold that in, that bracket is broke. So I'm gonna get that too. So but anyway, I just wanted to show y'all, man, I did get the gauge working for my temperature. So I got oil, temp, battery, and fuel. The tack works. I think I pulled it out a little bit when I was in there messing around. And then once I get the speedo, then I'm straight on the gauges for now. I'm not gonna swap them out. I'm gonna run these stock gauges until I do something with the interior, which is, we got a long way to go for that. So, but all right, y'all, man, I just wanted to keep y'all updated on what I've been up to. I got another video I'm probably gonna drop the day after y'all see this one. I did update my alternator wire. I loomed up everything. I ran circuit breakers and a new fuse panel. So, Penny LS1, man.
Crank Lucas in the building.